All right. So since the dative is the last case that you guys will have to learn, I wanted to go through it again. So the dative is a very interesting case because it probably is a case that would be the least familiar. At least it was the least familiar for me. So the dative is the indirect object, and indirect objects are a little bit hard to visualize, in my opinion. So what I usually like to do is, well, first off, let's just take the word that gives dative its name. It's the Latin word dot, or do, dare, is another are other forms of it, but dot, dant in the active, so this would mean he, she, or it gives, and then dant would mean they give. Then you have the passive. You have dator, which means he is given. Or the thing is given. So this would be like saying you're talking about a book. You're saying the book is being given to my friend. I lent it off, and so the book. But I'm talking about the book, and so the book is being given to one of my friends. Then you have dantor, and it's like now it's just more books. So dator is the singular, and dantor is the plural. Dat is the singular, dant is the plural. So if you're talking about one thing, you would use dat or dantor. Then if you're talking about many things, you would use dant or dantor. Now I know that seems very I'm harping on this a lot. I only harp on this just because of the fact that I do keep noticing mistakes when it comes to figuring out whether or not it's singular or plural. So I'm just going to keep saying that until everyone gets it right. I know it's annoying. Maybe the annoyingness will make everyone get it right. So the subject, as we've gone over many, many times, is whatever word is in the nominative case. Now remember, the nominative case is endings like us, it's endings like a for feminine, or endings like for neuter. That's all singular. Then you have e, a, and a in the plural. So those are the nominative endings. So if you have a word like Julius, which is in the nominative, which has this us ending, that means that it's in the nominative case, and it's the thing doing the giving. It's the thing dotting, let's say. Then you have the direct object, which is whatever word is in the accusative case. So it's the item that is being given. So in this case, Julius gives an apple. Well, okay, Julius gives an apple. What is that? Who is he giving the apple to? Well, that's where the indirect object comes in. So Julius gives an apple to his son. So suo, remember filio suo, means to his son. So Julius gives an apple to his son. And we can make it a little bit more complicated by going Julius dat, or Julius puero parvo malum magnum dat. So Julius gives a big apple to his son. Now, I want to make this very, 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 very clear. This translation has absolutely nothing to do with the order of the words in Latin. Allow me to prove this to you. I'm not sure why this would necessarily prove it to you, but just trust your Latin teacher. So if I were to rearrange the words in this order, so Julius malum magnum puero parvo dat, which is one of the word orders that I am going to be giving you on your worksheet, you still need to translate it the same way, as Julius gives the big apple to the small boy. Why? Because because of the ending, you can see the malum magnum means that, well, technically this is neuter, so it could be nominative, but we already have Julius, so we know that this is the nominative word. We know that this is the accusative word. What's the accusative word? It's the direct object. And so what that means that this is the indirect object, the dative, because its dative has that o ending. And so you need to always remember that this is the order that you should translate a dative sentence. The subject, so whatever word is in the nominative case, gives dat or dant. The direct object, so whatever word is in the accusative case, so it usually has this or am ending. To, make sure you remember the word to. the indirect object, which is the word with this O or AE ending if it's a feminine word. All right. So now, just briefly, we also need to go over passive. Now, you might be wondering, but Mr. Herb, we covered passive all the way back in chapter 6. That was like 7 weeks ago or something like that. It feels like that might as well have been 1,000 years ago at this point. What are you doing to us, Mr. Herb? Well, so I'm probably this will definitely not be the last time we talk about passive. And the reason is that for some reason passive is a very, very, very difficult. It's a very, very difficult concept for English speakers. And I think the reason is because passive sounds like past tense. So passive sounds like past. And so a lot of times when someone tries to turn an active English an active English sentence like the boy hits the girl, they turn it into a past tense sentence. They turn it into the boy hit the girl. So the boy already hit the girl. He did it yesterday, or has hit the girl, or something like that. This is not a passive sentence. This is an active sentence. Why? Because the boy, the subject, is the one doing the hitting. Instead, if you want to make this into a passive sentence, and a lot of the questions on your worksheet are just, I just want you guys to get into the habit of turning an active sentence into a passive sentence. That way you can like sort of fix in your mind what a passive sentence looks like. To turn this sentence into a passive sentence, you flip the object and the subject. So the girl, which is the object in the sentence, becomes the subject, and the boy, which is the subject in the sentence, becomes the personal agent. So the girl, because now the girl is the subject, is hit or is being hit by, remember this word by, the word by always has to be in there, the boy. So whenever you have an active sentence, if you want to translate it into a passive sentence, first thing you need to do is you need to take whatever the object is, so whatever the thing that is being hit in this instance, if you were to change it to a different word, like the boy holds the girl or whatever, then it would be the same thing. So the girl goes from the one being, girl remains the one being held or hit or whatever, but now she's the subject. So you change it from being the last words of the sentence to being the first words of the sentence, and you change hits to is hit or is being hit. So you got to make sure that there's this is or is being type of thing, and then you got to add the word by, and then in front of the old subject. So this is the subject. You put the word by, and then you put the old subject. It is now the object of the sentence. So that's all that is needed. Kept it under, almost kept it under 8 minutes. Hopefully that wasn't too bad. All right. Good luck, everyone.